Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Unscripted. Um, I am here with my big, good pal, Boone. We are returned for just a duo show. Nothing too serious today. It's more of just an informative, unscripted. We know that we've missed a couple shows, and we are very sorry about that. We've had some struggles with scheduling, some struggles with a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes going on that we're trying to get figured out and prioritizing for the benefit of you guys. Um, but we're finally back and we're finally here in Boone. How are you doing?
I'm gonna do a little throwback here. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. There's a lot going on in the past week or two, like you said, a lot of unorganized stuff going on, a lot of complications, but we're kind of getting to the point where we're kind of solving it all. Everything's kind of slowing down again, back to where it should be. So
It's real.
only good looks moving forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, Boone, one thing that we do have to talk about before we get into the show, before we get into talking about the divisions, we're getting close to the playoffs. It's exciting stuff here. But one thing that we do got to talk about is our future Stars team. They are dominating, they are making runs recently. Boone, tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, it's exciting. First, we've had them, originally under Celestial since December of 2022, and now they recently played. For those of y'all that aren't aware, they played in the Radiant Allies Women's Open, right? Yeah, that was the complete title,
Yeah, there you
and
go.
they actually qualified for day two, making them a top eight team in North America, winning them $1,500, which is pretty crazy. And they put up a pretty good fight. We did have a stream. We had a little watch party. We might have given them a little caster's curse. Might not have done them too well, but um, yeah, we had them on stream and they held well. They were an 8 seed going against the 1 seed, and they did well. Obviously, there's going to be like the only way you can go up from here is up. I know that a lot of teams around the entire like WCB league are making a ton of roster changes. Just a ton of things are going around. So we can only sit here and see how well they improve like until the next WCB regional, which I don't even know when it is in April, but there's going to be a lot of anticipation for it
I mean, they'll be ready though. They'll definitely be ready. They are a star-powered team,
for sure.
um, and we're excited to watch them. We're excited to see how their journey continues and how they bounce back. But without further ado, let's finally get into the part that most of you guys are probably waiting for. Let's get into a little bit of some Division Four. Now, Boone, Division Four has kind of been tensing up. We saw Goobers and Synergy at the start, kind of really pull away from the rest of the rest of the division. And then all of a sudden, Extra Grade comes out of nowhere, and now they're 6-1 with both the other teams. So it's kind of a battle for first right now. First, second, third. This is kind of a toss up. Um, you know, Synergy and Goobers do actually play this week, and we might have a special little stream for you guys for that match. I know a lot of people are going to be trying to watch that. It decides pretty much Division Four for everybody. So it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting stuff. And I mean, Boone, is there anything that we really didn't expect here in Division Four?
Not really. The skill gaps in Division 4 are pretty big. I think they are in every division at some point, but in Division 4, it's kind of a clear runaway here. Goobers and Synergy, kind of just like you said, fighting for this number one spot, and this week is an extremely, extremely important match for both of these teams because right now they're sitting at that 1 and 2 spot. They are tied with X-Ray Gray, but again, they got to take down one of the others. Going to get a loss this week, so I'm excited. Division 4 is probably the division I am in the least knowledge of. I don't know a lot of people that play in this specifically. I don't know a lot of the players. I don't know a lot of the team's histories. But what I do know is the only team that we added from the community is not doing so hot in Division 4. I think, like, yeah, they're 1-6. But I mean, hey, that's how it is sometimes. Just got to regain. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see that match. And like you said, we might have a little special showcase on stream for that on Sunday. And hopefully we do because, again, very important game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It completely decides the season for both of these teams. I mean, whoever that second seed is going to have to play against an X-ray gray or, whatever one loses, that's a big match. That's a big one to, you want to try to avoid in playoffs, especially because, if you beat them, you get that number one spot. You ain't playing X-ray gray.
Yeah.
You're getting that little bye. You're getting that little free pass in the round two, and you won't see them till championship. So it'll be something to look out for. So we're gonna try to get it streamed for you guys. Hopefully, if everything goes well, I think we should be able to get it on stream. But let's move into a little bit of Division Three. And now the one thing with Division Three is there are only 8 teams, so the season is a little bit shorter compared to the other divisions. The other divisions have 10 teams, so Div Three is already over. These standings are
Mhm.
final, and we have Atlantis Elite at number one, taking on 7-0, only one match lost in every single series, which is mind blowing. Mind blowing completely. I don't think
Absurd.
we've seen that dominant of a performance out of any team ever.
Yeah.
Um, but hats off to them. They've earned their spot. But I'm not gonna lie, these 2, 3, 4 seeds are not people to sleep on. Um, OVO EU coming in at number two. A solid number two, very good team. EXO as well. And now we have a little bit of a stargazers coming in last minute and able
Mhm.
to clutch up for playoffs. And that is really impressive for this team.
Yeah, if there's ever gonna be any sort of upset story or Cinderella team in a playoff bracket, Ixia is the team to do that, honestly. Like you said, they joined late and they qualified top 4 for playoffs. Like, come on.
Yeah,
That
that's
just
crazy.
sounds like something's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's the Cinderella story. You know that something might be coming. Um, but realistically, I think this is up to the top two teams. I think this is Atlantis Elites or OVO EU's division to win. I think whatever team performs on that day is going to get that number one spot. Um, but realistically, Division Three could go either way. I mean, I even see Heatwave or Phoenix Rising. Maybe taking out that number four seed who is Ixia. They might be able to take them out if they get lucky. They get a good series. They're playing well together. You never know with these teams. Division Three is one of those divisions, kind of like Div Four, where anybody can be having their day and it's over.
Yeah.
So, um, but realistically, I think there's two teams that can take it, and I think two teams will take it. I think those will be the number one and two. But let's get into another division that is kind of kind of has that number one seed, that solid number one seed, that's 7-0. Let's get into Division Two, Slang Gang coming
Oof.
out. Been my number one pick since day one, and they're performing. That's really all
Yeah.
there is to it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been a lot of unfortunate now that we go into the Division 2, Division 1, there's been a lot of unfortunate, like, forfeits here, a lot of teams that have just fallen off, fallen out. But we were just talking about future stars earlier, and the two teams that are above them in standings, obviously, are the two teams they've lost to, both Slang Gang and Hydra. And whenever we casted that match, that was a very close match. I mean, Slang Gang only has 3 matches lost, and if I'm not mistaken, Hydra is one of those, right? Was it 2?
I think no, they won 3-1.
Okay, yeah, so it was only one, but still, it wasn't a blowout by any means.
Right.
So
Definitely not.
honestly, I'd like to see how Hydra performs against future stars because I know it's going to end up being a matchup in the playoffs.
Mhm.
I feel like this standings is going to completely stay the exact same, but I think future stars is going to come out with some sort of vengeance and really upset somebody. I don't know who. I don't know if they can upset Slang Gang, but
Mhm.
I'd like to see something happen here because even Black Rose, good team. Even Future Crimson, they're a good team. And OVO Shoot is a good team. I think the Division Two is probably going to be the most balanced playoff we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean realistically, one thing I gotta correct you on real quick is Future Stars hasn't played Slang. They play Slang this week,
Oh,
so that's gonna be an L handed
oh,
right to them pretty much.
ooh, okay,
Realistically, not trying to be rude, but like, come on. But
ooh,
either way, Voltage low key could slip in here at the end of the playoffs. Um, they're coming off. I think they won last week, if I'm not mistaken. But they could definitely take out Future Crimson or another team that isn't playing. They could put them out, and I mean
mhm,
it's pretty easy. They're in reach for sure. So it's definitely doable. I think Division Two is probably the closest top seven teams that we have out of any of the divisions. Bottom three teams are combined. What is that? Hold on, let me do math. 2-19, and it's kind of embarrassing, but stuff happens. But
mhm,
Division Two is it could go either way. I know that I'm on OVO Shooters, and I know we have the advantage over Black Rose and Crimson because we beat both of them. I just don't think the standings are really representing that right now, but um, I think technically we should. I think we are in the fourth spot. Um, but again, either way, this thing could go and either it could go any way right now. I think this is the closest division, and I think it will be to this day. But it's basically just can somebody take out Slaying or Hydra? You know,
Hmm.
can one of these teams that are one of the lower seeds, step up, play past their potential, and take down one of these teams? Maybe Slaying or Hydra have a bad day. That could happen very easily. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna lie. I think both of these teams are known to have their bad days in playoffs, and pressure could get to them. And next thing you know, I mean, somebody like Future Stars or Black Rose or OVO Shooters or Voltage or Crimson is stepping up and beating them. And,
Yeah.
it could go either way. And it realistically
Hmm.
could. But to end on Div 2, let's get into the final division. Let's talk about a little bit of
Oof.
Div 1. Div 1 is also just absolutely to the max close.
Yeah. There's no other way to put it, honestly. Future Rising, you said that you don't understand how they're there. They're still holding on. 6-1 alongside Galaxy, but I believe Galaxy's only loss was on a forfeit.
Yeah, it was.
Um, so Galaxy, I think they're the pure favorite in this. Especially
100%.
after playing them now. Uh, I was only, or I, we were only able to take one game off of them. So Galaxy is a great team, but Iris, Galaxy, Rising, Blackout. I think even my own team, Wichita State, Black, we even have a chance. And what's really funny to me is somehow Ravens is below Phoenix United and Cap.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be completely blunt. I don't know the last team. I don't know the last time either of those teams have played.
Yeah, honestly, because
Yeah.
Phoenix
Like,
United has had roster issues and Cap is just on their own. Their own. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're choosing to play in weird other leagues, but with a different roster. So I don't know. They're
yeah,
just kind of there.
yeah,
Somehow have 3 wins by default. That's just how it's going to be, I guess. But
yeah.
anyways, back to the teams that have played. Um, I don't think Future Rising has played Galaxy yet.
No, they have. Okay, so Future Rising's last two matches are Iris and Blackout. So
Oh,
yeah, they've got some tough
yeah,
matches ahead of them. And realistically, I could see Future Rising going from 6-1 to 6-3 real quick.
yeah. I think if there's any team that they could beat out of those two, I think they can beat Blackout. But Iris might be a little tough. If Iris is at full strength and if Blackout are at full strength, though, it's I don't like the odds.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
honestly, it depends. I think both of those series solely depend on how Future Rising, which actually I might want to mention, by the way, now is our main roster with Future. So that is Future Gaming at the top of League One or Division One. Oops. But point is, I think they can beat either of these teams. I don't think they're completely out of it, but it
oh,
solely
100%.
depends. No, it solely depends on how they play. If they come to play, I think it's doable. I've seen them beat some pretty good teams before. It really just depends on how they play. But if they just come, just
Pause.
ugh, yeah. If they just okay, all right. If they come out, they're just not feeling it. They're lazy. They're not hitting the ground running. It's gonna be wraps pretty fast, like you said, and that could go from 6-1 to 6-3 pretty
Yeah, I mean,
easily.
realistically, even though they're in position one, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, out of the matches between Iris and Blackout, me personally, I'm taking them as the underdog in both those
Yeah.
matches.
No,
And
I completely agree.
and
Um,
they've really got to step up, man. They got to
yeah.
step up.
And the thing is, it solely comes down to they're going to be the underdog because of how they performed this season. Honestly,
Mhm.
a lot of the games that they've lost or won, I should say, sure they're 6-1, but out of those 6 wins, maybe 4 of them were forfeit wins.
Yeah, they got a lot.
And then the one of the wins is against Wichita State when I wasn't even there. And
Mm,
then what was their other win? Every single win they've had has been kind of
Mickey.
it's kind of yeah. I don't want to say Mickey, but Mickey. They haven't really had to prove anything yet. But then you look back, Galaxy, their schedule's already gone. They're done. I was just looking. They're done for the season. They don't have their competition goes down. So does Wichita State Black. We're basically done from
Mhm.
here. So honestly, the top. I don't want to say top 6 because honestly, I'm counting Phoenix United out.
Yeah.
But I think the top 5 can fluctuate just because I know for Wichita State Black we don't have to play anyone else, and if Blackout drops a game and we're able to win out, then we can maybe make something happen there. But
Right, definitely. I mean,
um,
again, Division 1 is kinda like Division 2 where it could go any way,
mm,
realistically. I mean, I think Galaxy
yeah,
is that number 1 seed, and I think that's kinda guaranteed,
yeah,
but I don't think Future Rising beats both Iris and Blackout. I think they might get one of them, but 2 of them, I doubt it. I very
mm,
highly doubt it. And, I'm just being real.
yeah,
They're great players, but those 2 teams are just kinda better. And realistically, it could go any way because I see Blackout and Iris both competing with Galaxy.
yeah,
Future Rising, I could see them compete, but
yeah,
realistically, I think Galaxy. I just don't think Future Rising is that level still. But we could see. We're gonna see, right? We're gonna see what
yeah,
happens. Um, but I'm excited to see both of these matches. Or both of those matches. Really gonna be paying attention to Future Rising and the standings. Standings are literally everything right now since we
yeah.
get into the last 2 weeks. You want to check where your team is. Go ahead, go find out. If we didn't talk about your team, that means they're probably trash. So you don't really need to check. Um,
No, but I do want to add before we move on. At the end of the day, regardless of how seeding ends, Galaxy holds the torch.
oh,
When it goes to playoffs, it really depends. The entire layout of how things will end up going completely depends on Galaxy. It doesn't matter who will beat who in the semis or the quarters. If Galaxy comes to play, they're winning it all. There's just
yeah,
no doubt.
100.
And it's weird because similar to Division Two, which I'd say is more of a case in Division One than Division Two, there isn't much of a skill gap between the top and bottom, in my opinion. I don't think there's too big of a skill gap. It just appears this way because like 2 or 3 teams literally don't
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
The only 2 teams I could say that really have a big skill gap would be Wichita State Gold and Synth.
mhm,
Knowing the rosters, those are the only 2 players or the 2 teams that really do have a skill gap.
mhm.
But other than that, it's a pretty from 1 to 8. If Cap was actually playing and if Phoenix United was like their
Right,
roster was
right,
actually final,
right.
it'd be pretty thick
Be pretty
competition.
even,
But
yeah. No,
yeah,
100%. But, at the end of the day, you don't get teams like that are, not playing all the time.
mhm,
So we are going to see probably about 5 teams instead of the 7 that we were hoping for, really compete for that final spot in the last 2 weeks. And, this is one of the only seasons where it's really been this close for the entire top 4 seeds in
mhm.
playoffs. Most seasons we get, the 1 and 2 are solidified from, week 5, week 6, early in the season. But, especially this one, I mean, there are teams that can jump. There are teams that can make their playoff run. There are teams
Mhm.
that, you might not expect to even be close to it and they somehow make it. So, if you're one of those teams and you're still competing for that spot, go out and get it. Don't let some of these bigger teams scare you. But Boone, as we get done talking about the divisions, I know we have a lot of important stuff that we want to kind of give you a little sneak peek at. We don't want to announce the full things. We don't want to, give every detail, but we are going to get to some of that right now. Boone, take it away.
All right. So obviously, we've had our stuff with the league. We've had our talks. There's been a lot of issues the past few weeks, but I do want to add before we move on to more community talk. Um, this season of the league is definitely where we're taking notes, taking a lot of notes, taking a lot of notes for improvements, a lot of recommendations from you all. We've heard a ton. A lot of things will be taken and put into place before our next season. So for those of you that have stuck around, and made this possible for the first season after the merge, because the merge happened and then we were off the ground running.
Right.
So for those of y'all that stuck around and made this possible and made it as easy as you could for not only the admins but the entire league staff. We really do appreciate that.
We do.
But now moving to the community side of things, which hint, I'm not going to say too much, but they will be more merged than they already are pretty soon here. Um, Basically, moving into April, there's a lot going on. As we all know, the community has the intention of having something to do constantly throughout the week, throughout the day, for everybody, right? We have 6 mans, but right now, all that's really been active for those of you that are engaged in the community, we have movie nights and we have 6 mans. That's really all that's been going on. We have some of our teams that have been competing and scrimmaging each other. Not much going on there, right? Finally, now that we're moving into April, there is going to be 3 things going on during the week, like as in the weekdays: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which will be announced whenever that week does come in April. And that will be starting, like I said, for every week from there on out. We will have something going on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on top of that, every single weekend, minus April 1st, there will be something going on within the community. So, for example, again, I'm not going to give too many details, but we are going to be having an academy tournament as well as a contenders tournament, which for those of you that aren't aware, our contender teams are champ 2 and above, I believe. I could have scuffed that. I don't think I did. But anyways, if you're a champ 2 and above player, you can join the contender side of Future Gaming and be labeled under us. And basically, it's just a tournament for y'all to get publicity, for us to, have all y'all play against each other for whatever prizes, whatever rewards there may be. Same goes for the academy, a whole different weekend, whole different set of teams. Anyone champ 1 and below, same thing, same rules apply, same sort of bracket, right? But the even bigger part of things, which is something that we've been excited to do for quite a while now, and luckily we're able to get it off the ground. We're going to be having completely public weekly tournaments, similar to what you see with a lot of our competitors. More specifically, the biggest issue I know that for myself and Viewzys here, we've ran into before, is a lot of these weekly tournaments in the Rocket League sub-bubble community are just dominated by bubble pros and high-level players that just absolutely crap on everybody. If you guys remember when we had that original merge tournament, I know the Academy was one a whole issue, but the contender side of things, or whatever we called it at the time, was only scuffed because we had one team of literal bubble pros come in and crap on everybody. So, not going to happen. We're actually going to be limiting our weekly tournaments. They're going to be 2, so technically bi-weekly every month. We're going to be limiting it to B players and under. So basically, you're not going to have any more bubble pros. You're not going to have any more of those guys coming in, killing you. No. It's going to be fair ground. And don't worry, still going to be money involved. So you're not going to be fighting for nothing. Don't worry. Again, more details will be announced later, if not this weekend, the beginning of next week immediately, so that those signups will start and everything will get on the ground and get going and everyone can get their teams signed up. Because again, big opportunities, big ways to get involved. So if you're interested in any of that and you want to get more involved with Future, go on ahead, go right over to the community server and get started, get engaged with people, because we are going to be taking off very fast, very soon here. That's really it for me.
All right. Well, as we wrap it up, make sure to keep an eye out on this Sunday's stream. If we do end up having one, we will make an announcement on Saturday if we get everything confirmed in time, which we should. We're not going to have a stream on Saturday. We do not have enough matches. So we will let you guys know midday, probably maybe end of night Saturday for some of you EU folks. So we'll get that announced. We'll get you guys aware. You guys can catch the streams at Future Gaming League on Twitch. And I mean, other than that, we are back with the Unscripteds every week. We will be, I think it should be posted next week by Thursday instead of Friday. This one came a little late just because we wanted to get all this information out. We know it's a lot to take in, but watch the whole thing. You guys should be all good. If you're still here, you should be caught up. I don't think there's anything else that's really that important for you guys for right now. But as we end it, Boone, say your goodbyes and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, thank you to those who have stuck around. Again, we've had our little issues, but hey, hiccups are going to come up, and luckily, we've been able to solve them. So I know I'm excited for the future, no pun intended. And I think the rest of us here in the staff team for Future Gaming are extremely excited for what's to come. So again, like Viewzys said, that's going to wrap it up for today's Unscripted. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.